Hello everybody, welcome to Championship Matchweek 22. 22 games into the season and the final before Christmas. Ooh, it's so festive. We got our Christmas hats back on.
Ho
Yay!
ho ho.
Ho ho ho! And let's start our Christmas cheer with a recap from last week. So, Liam, how many points did you get?
I feel like I scraped it a little bit, but I did get two 3 pointers and two 1 pointers, so I had 8 points for 21 round 21.
I unfortunately have got 7. As it stands, Liam is on 126 and I am on 133. So the gap is now reduced to 7. I'm getting kind of nervous. It's getting close. So let's have a good week this week. So let's start with Swansea versus Wrexham. And you shall start for this one, Liam.
A first league meeting since 2003. That was in League Two, as a matter of fact. And that was the exact same scoreline that I have predicted for the Friday night match in Wales. I have gone 0-0.
Yeah, nice. Swansea last time around drew. No, so Swansea last time around lost, and Wrexham last time around drew. So this is at Swansea, and it's a difficult one to predict this. I think Wrexham, I think they're holding their own in this division, as you'd probably expect them to. Swansea still struggling, and I think Wrexham will edge this one here. I've gone for Swansea 1, Wrexham 2. And now on to Blackburn versus Millwall. So, both last time around, both teams lost. Portsmouth Blackburn was my only 3 pointer last week. Just thought I'd mention that. But for this one, we're once again back at Ewood Park, and we best hope that the pitch can actually hold up this time. Um, Unfortunately, Blackburn fans, I don't see you getting anything in this game. 1-2.
I'm actually going to differ. I have gone for a 1-0 home win to Blackburn purely because Millwall's previous two performances were woeful. Played off the park at home to Hull, for starters. So I just think it's going to be a miserable lead up to the big Christmas day.
Okay, and now for Preston versus Norwich.
Speaking of miserable lead up to Christmas Day, now it could have been miserable if the referees were competent at Carrow Road, but they aren't. A handball, very controversial late goal for Norwich against Southampton. Um, I feel like their heads are going to be held high, but they will not manage uh, to outsmart Preston, especially at Deepdale with how they have been at home this season. So I've gone 2-0 to North End.
Yeah, both teams won last time around. Preston winning at Oxford, and as you mentioned, a rather controversial circumstance for Norwich, but a win's a win regardless. Um, but I think it's difficult not to see a Preston win here. I'm going to go for Preston 2, Norwich 0. Now, on to Southampton versus Coventry. Ooh, that's a tough one to call. So last time around, Coventry won, Southampton lost. And this is at St Mary's. You got a resurgent Southampton, perhaps with a blip, up against the juggernaut Coventry. Um, Really difficult to call this, personally. I'm going to get a draw on this one. 1-1.
I'm going to take your 1-1 and raise you another goal each. I'm going to hope that Coventry can get me a third successive 3-pointer. That would be ideal, with me still chasing, cutting the gap. So yeah, I've gone 2-2. Very entertaining game at St Mary's.
And now for Bristol City versus Middlesbrough.
I I struggle with Bristol City at the moment. You just they're in that little period where you just don't know if they'll turn up or not. Um, I don't think they will against a pardon me, sorry, against a free-scoring Middlesbrough side. Um, I was thinking 1-3, but Bristol City's defence maybe isn't as open as that. So I've gone Bristol City 1, Middlesbrough 2.
So I've actually gone the reverse of that. Actually, I think at Ashton Gate, Bristol City are quite a force in my opinion, and I think they'll use their home advantage to get a big win over Middlesbrough. I think if Middlesbrough wins this, I think they'll be definitely strong candidates for promotion. And if you want to be promoted, this is the kind of game that Middlesbrough needs to win. But unfortunately, Middlesbrough fans, I will be backing Bristol City here. As mentioned before, Bristol City 2, Middlesbrough 1. Now on to Charlton versus Oxford. Both teams at the moment not in very good form, and a massive opportunity for both teams to get something here. This is at the Valley, um, and it's a tough one to call. But if I was to give a verdict, I would give a slight edge to Charlton here. I've said 2-0.
This one's disgusting to predict. Um, it really is. I had such massive issues working out what to put for this one. After a bit of research, um, I've come to a conclusion. There's only been one Charlton win in 13 league games since
Ooh.
2016, and there was I think it was a cup game in that time. So in all competitions, it's one Charlton win in 14 games, because I didn't win that one either. So yeah, I'm going to back Oxford to do them there. At the Valley, I've gone 1-2.
I think Oxford is that kind of team to get points from places you maybe wouldn't expect them to. So I don't blame you for making that prediction. Now let's move on to the East Midlands at Pride Park. Derby versus Portsmouth.
Well, though, in the last three games between these two, there's been 12 goals, four in each of them. I only just haven't gone that many goals in this game. Um, I've been so back and forth with it because this could be anything. Um, but five draws in the last six games between them. Derby coming out on top in the previous home fixture by a significant four goals. I've gone a 3-0 home win.
Yeah, I think Derby are certainly a strong side. Portsmouth, they are maybe resurging. They finally got their win against Blackburn. That's the kind of game you'd need to win in order to survive. But they have a formidable test next against the Derby side, who are comfortably in mid-table in the top half, scoring 3 against Sheffield Wednesday. Derby will be very confident with a win here, and that's exactly what I've gone. Derby 2, Portsmouth 1. Now on to Hull versus West Brom. So Hull last time around drew. West Brom last time around won. Um, so this is at the MKM. Recently, I mean last time, Hull beat Wrexham at home. I think they're in and out at the moment, Hull at home. And I think this is going to be an in day for them. 2-1.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with the which team will get the result. I do not agree with how little goals there will be. I've gone all out, all guns blazing. 3-2 to Hull.
Ooh, that's bold. And speaking of one that could be potentially high scoring, Ipswich Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, I have a feeling we're on a very, very similar page here. I haven't watched Sheffield Wednesday all too much this season, but Monday night, my God, they were dreadful. Um, Struggled to string 5 passes together. Um, so, that's not what you want to do against an Ipswich side who love to score goals at Portman Road. Um, I think it'll be another 5-star performance in a 5-0 victory.
Oof. I think with Sheffield Wednesday at the moment, um, they. I wouldn't say that they get results. That's not true. But I think sometimes they can make it a lot closer than fans think. Obviously, against Derby, it was not close. It was a very easy win for Derby in the end. But against Watford, I mean, they were winning until the last minute, so you don't know with Sheffield Wednesday. But you're up against a strong Ipswich side, and I fail to see anything but Ipswich, to be honest. Ipswich 4, Sheffield Wednesday 0. And now on to QPR versus Leicester. QPR last time around lost. Leicester last time around won. Personally, I think if any game screams a draw to me, it's this one. 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was my very first thought, but I took a deeper dive and I just sure their form has gone. Well, in fact, both clubs have had a bit of decent form of late. But Leicester in particular, their away form looks to be turning a positive corner. But I think this is going to be a bit of a setback for them. I've predicted a 1-0 defeat in the capital.
Now for Sheffield United versus Birmingham.
Um, yeah, I don't know really.
It's
I
tough.
just this could be anything. Could be there could be no goals. There could be 7. It's one of those where you just have to hope you get lucky with a 1-1 draw.
I think, yeah, Sheffield United lately are resurging, but maybe encountering a bit of difficulty. Um, Meanwhile, for Birmingham, I just think they're very inconsistent. Um, I thought they'd do a lot better at home against Charlton, but they ended up drawing. Ugh, it's a really difficult one, actually, because of two teams which you just don't know which version of them is going to show up. Um, I think because this is at Bramall Lane, I'm going to give a slight edge to Sheffield United here, 2-1. And finally, Watford versus Stoke. Another difficult one to call, in my opinion. Watford last time around drew. Stoke last time around won. And at Vicarage Road, oh, Watford have a lot of talent in their side, but Stoke are tidy this season, and they are up there for a good reason. It's a tough one, but I think I'm going to give the slight edge to Watford. 2-1.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I've gone 2-1. It's probably the 6th game out of the 12 this weekend that I've struggled to really come to terms with predicting for it. So it's just, yeah, I hope for the best, this prediction. 2-1.
And with the player of the week, I shall start first. There's one game I predicted 4 goals, and that is Ipswich, Sheffield Wednesday. And I have decided to pick Jaden Philogene as my player of the week.
I've gone far more sensible this week. I backed George Dobson um, against Blackburn. Um, Now, I thought about going back to a player I predicted just a couple of weeks ago, not for the first time in recent times. Um, so, yeah, I was looking at Adjumang. I was looking at Kyle Joseph. Both players scored 2 last weekend. I was looking at Ipswich because I backed them to score 5. I've actually gone for a team who I think will score 2. And I've gone for Preston's Daniel Jefferson.
I mean, Jefferson is showing some good form at the moment, and I think he will definitely be up for this one. So, I believe that is it for number 22. You will see us for the video before Boxing Day for number 23. Until then, see you later. Have a Merry Christmas, and bye bye.